Hi, hi, hi. My name is Rashida Dow, and you are here today on my channel, Rashida. Today, we're going to talk about the ways that life is better outside of the US. If you're not from the US and you're watching this, a lot of my viewers tend to be from the UK. I'm going to go ahead and say that these reasons will be relevant to you too. So, for those of you that don't know, I live in Mexico City. And I'm repping the country today in my Mexico jersey. And I love my life here. It's super easy. It is better than my life in America. And I'm going to talk about how. And I'm not just going to talk, this isn't going to be Mexico City specific. We're going to talk about the way other countries can be easier too. If you're in the comments, put in your reasons in the comments as well. We're going to do this today. I'm hot. Let me turn on this fan. I just opened my windows, my curtains, and the sun's coming in already. Hold on. Fan is on. I am back. Let's do this. Okay. Hi, everyone in the comments. I see my mom. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Anita. Are you back in Mexico City? Tamika's here. Sarah, Yolanda, who joined us last week, Locating Cozy. Amina, got my candle going. This one is from Casa 288. I got this. Can I do this? Will this work for me? You can't really see it. Casa 288. I got it at a local market here in Mexico City. This is the Palo Santo candle, and it smells really good. I think this is one of the ones I gave Stephanie that got confiscated in her luggage, I think. Hello, Adelia. Maria, this is the Mexico state country jersey. They have the green one is their home jersey, and this burgundy-ish one is their away jersey. I think they just switched to new jerseys. I don't remember seeing the away one, but I did see the home one, the like green one. I don't like it. So I got the older ones. I was able to get them on sale at the Adidas website. I love it. All right. I also, y'all know I love a good story. I also got my whole Canadian family jerseys. So we all have the green matching jerseys, which I put away, so I can't show you right now. And I was getting them all with my best friend's last name on the back. So our whole family has jerseys with the last name on the back. I'm gonna give them to them at Thanksgiving. She's not gonna watch it. Well, it's okay if she watches this video. She knows. And I was asking her for like sizes and like what number they wanted, so I could make sure it was like it was personalized for them. This one has my. Can you see that? If you see me in the streets, that's me. Okay, so I got green jerseys for them. I got this one for me with their last names and their numbers on it. And I'm just going to surprise them with jerseys when I see them for Thanksgiving. If you're not a usual watcher of this channel, hi, there's always a story. So welcome. If you don't like the story, skip ahead like 5 minutes. Okay, so I was going to give them jerseys with their name on it and their number, their birthday. They all have our birthdays on them. And my bestie was like, well, do you want to get one with the last name too? Now, everybody like, I am a part of the family, right? Like the husband's birthday was yesterday. Like I call him husband. He calls me wifey. Like there's nothing weird there. Just, I'm his other wife, but without any of the stuff. No wife duties. But like, that's been my friend. She's been my friend for 30 years. They've been together for 15. He's my friend for 15 years. We're just really close. She's like, do you want to get a jersey as well and surprise them with our last name on it? And I was like, oh, baby, that was already in the cart. I was going to surprise you by showing up with my own jersey with your last name, your husband's last name, and my number on it. But you, because we've been friends for so long and we kind of share a brain, you were like, why don't you do the same thing? So yeah, so I have a jersey in green with their last name on it, which will surprise the kids and the husband, but not my best friend because she thought the exact same thing I did. And that's why we're friends. All right, let's get to the business. I was really excited. I opened the jerseys yesterday. I was really excited about them, as you can tell. All right. Let's talk about this list. Okay, so a lot of the people who are watching this are regular viewers. Y'all know me. A lot of you also live abroad or have spent significant amounts of time abroad. So this is going to be another group assignment. I'm going to talk about the things that I have found that make life easier for me and for other people in my community. But I also want you to talk about the things that have made life easier and better for you when you were abroad and where that was. So if you found transportation better somewhere, tell me where that someone was. Hi, Carib Cinnamon. You're a newbie. Hello. If you're a newbie, subscribe. I forgot to say that. I always forget to say that. I forget to give y'all directions like a real YouTuber. Subscribe, turn on the notification so you know when a video's coming. Something, 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 something. Yes, yes. Clickety clack. All right. I told myself that in 2023, I was going to be a serious YouTuber. Like I was going to like really get into it, but clearly, I'm just a storyteller who turns her camera on, and that's okay with me. All right, let's go. First on my list of things that are better outside of the US. Also, some of you watching, probably watching the replay, are gonna have the urge to tell me I'm wrong. Generally, personal opinions, and preferences aren't wrong. So go ahead and think about that. All right, so Anita, who we call Global Granny here, and Donique came up with and Tamika and Aria all came through with the first thing. The first thing on my list was food. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know I eat. Boop, boop, boop. And one of the things that is better outside of the US, y'all all said it. So food is so much better outside of the US. And that's not to say that everywhere you go, you're going to love the food. It's to say that where you go, you're going to have generally easier to find healthy options. You're going to have better portions. I'm one of those people that eats until my plate is clear. Outside of you, like like some of it is just mental. Like I could stop earlier, but that's not what my brain tells me to do. My brain says like, there's food, eat the food. We don't have to get into what trauma that is linked to. That's not relevant. I'm just telling you who I am. Please, let's just rock with it. All right, so outside of the US, I rarely have the like, oh my God, I cannot put in another bite. There are a couple places I know I can go to right now where I'm going to be like, in Mexico City, where I'm going to be like, why would you give me all this food? I can't do this. But generally, no, especially because a lot of the things are smaller portions with lower prices. And if you want more, you just get more. Like, this is super, I hate even saying this because it's kind of a stereotype, but it's Sunday, so there's a couple taco stands next to me. And you buy tacos here at that stand in multiples of one. How many of these one tacos do you want? If you want 20, you get 20. If you want 2, you get 2. And they're delicious. They're less expensive. The taco place, I used to love this taco place in the US, but the tacos back in 2018 were like $3 a piece. I could only imagine what they are now. They got to be like $5 tacos. They got to be like $5 tacos. I don't know. But coming here, and getting like 50-cent tacos and having them be super good is a really beautiful part of the experience. And Marissa is in Guadalajara and says the corn is the best I've ever tasted. I had on my list fruit. When I was in England earlier this year, I said, and I'll say it again, their fruit tastes like a color. Like the blueberries taste like the color purple. But like, do they taste like blueberries? Nah. The pineapples tasted like they knew what a pineapple was and they aspire, but baby, it wasn't happening. Right? Like, where is here? The taste is here. The taste is here. I was just telling my bestie when I was in Canada that one of the things I love figs. And in the US, I had like 1 week a year, maybe 2, where I could find figs in the grocery store. Here, I can find figs for months in a row. Months I can find. And I love figs because they're grown here, so they don't need to be shipped over the fields and through the woods, right? Like it's here. And then they're picked at a later date. So they're not like, they pick them when they're being shipped somewhere, they pick them early so they can like ripen on the way. I'm getting stuff that was picked in a field maybe yesterday, maybe the day before. I love it. Now, a lot of people say, Aria agrees with me. In London last month, no on the pineapple, the mango, no taste. Where's the flavor? Give me, I need the flavor. I love fruit. Give me the flavor. Because what is this stuff? I don't know. I don't want it. Figs everywhere in Barcelona and Girona, Spain. She hasn't seen them in Lisbon. You'll be there. In the US, everything is imported. And the things that we grow, we're paying people not to grow. Like most things in the US, agriculture is run by big business. And so the things that make sense for big business and for the government are the things that happen with no regard to what makes sense for the people. Yes, my travel goddess, come to Mexico during Christmas break. You'll be able to taste fruit, which you can't get in America, like real fruit that tastes good, even in the winter. Trust me. I was just going to comment on this, Dawn. Hi, Dawn. I bet eating healthier food affects health and digestion in beautiful ways. Most people say they move abroad, they move outside of the US, and they lose weight like this. Now, it ain't happened for me. I moved back here. I lived here in 2019. I left for a while, came back in 2020. And when I came back in 2020, it was the lockdown. And I was eating the foods, but I wasn't going outside so much. I wasn't losing the weight. There was nothing. And I wasn't trying to lose weight. And these are people who say not trying to lose weight, just eating local foods and doing local things. They lost weight. It's 3 years later and I'm steady gaining weight, but I'm gonna blame that on aging. But other people who are moving and living abroad are aging too, and they're losing weight. So I'm doing something wrong, but I'm gonna keep on doing it because this food tastes good. The food tastes good, so I'm gonna keep on eating what I eat. I love it. It truly is. Oh, I'm not gonna look at this, but y'all see this. Does that say $8 for one taco? Is that what's going on? Child. And it's Houston. Like you're pretty much in Mexico. Like, what are you doing? Woo! April Dean Hunter says eggs. She's allergic to eggs, I'm guessing in the US, but when she was in Marrakesh and Portugal, she tried them and no reaction. Hi, April. It's been a while. It's been since Marrakesh. The food is different. The food is different. All right. Now, I want to be a little cognizant here that when we're talking, because not soon enough, and someone else mentioned it earlier, I can't wait to have access to lower cost of quality food. I want to make sure that when we're having this conversation today, our focus isn't on cost, because cost is going to change all the time. And some things that are cheaper in the US are not going to be cheaper in Mexico, but or anywhere else in the world, right? So we're not going to talk about cost a lot here. Sometimes it's going to be really relevant, but like this is not some YouTubers will make videos about how to have a better quality of life for a lower cost of living abroad. And I feel like there are too many variables that are not discussed in those videos. So I want to be really cognizant, and this isn't about your comment, not soon enough. Love you, girl. This is really about like making sure that when we're thinking about what we want when we're abroad, we are willing to pay the price to get what we want, and understanding that not all of those things are going to be cheaper. The fruit is cheaper. In Mexico, in London, it was not cheaper and it tasted like water. Like, what is this? So it just depends on where you're going, right? I'm assuming that in Germany, it would be the same, right? Like if you're in Berlin, the fruit probably tastes like German sadness. I don't know. I don't want to know. I mean, I've been to Germany quite a few times. I used to work for a German company. I don't remember their fruit. Probably because we wasn't eating fruit. We were eating like pig knuckles or whatever. Is it pig knuckles or cow knuckles? Somebody's knuckle. They put on a plate in front of me and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. I don't remember. I blocked out a lot of my German experience. I've told you before, my US coworkers, a lot of them were hot garbage. My German coworkers, I had to file a complaint. You need to get that man away from me for the rest of this experience. Thank you. So I don't talk about that or my German experiences very much. Pero, yeah, I don't remember eating fruit in Germany. I'm sure I did. I don't know if it was picnic. It was somebody's knuckle. I don't know. Horse. I'm kidding. I don't know what it was. All right. Now, food, hands down, outside of the US, for many reasons, it's better. It's better. Okay, I was gone for a few days. Look what my leaf is doing. I was gone for a few weeks. I left my cleaning lady to water. She's not on my watering schedule, I don't think. I saw that one over there doing it, but I didn't see this one until right now. Oh, okay. Raquel, flying free, visited Italy. No need for gluten-free. No problems with pasta or bread or veggies. Were delicious. And I'm guessing the tap water was excellent. No digestive issues while there, but in the US, everyday food struggle. Yes. American food is trash because America does not care about its people. Ta-da! Ta-da! That's it. Because why does every other country have like more accessible, healthier foods? Oh, Jenna, I need to. Oh, I'm so sorry, girl. I need to message you. I've been crazy the past few days. Hi. I gotta message you, Jenna. Whew, it's been a week. Jenna touched down in Mexico City last night and had a huge green juice made in front of me for $3. Yes. And baby, you can get that for cheaper, depending on where you go. Depending on where you were, you can get that for cheaper, significantly. That's the tourist prices. And you're a tourist. You should get tourist prices, right? But like, that's not the local price. Anyhow, morning, Stephanie. Okay, y'all. I almost sent Stephanie a text last night to be like, tell me everything about the Beyonce concert now. I've seen it twice. I saw it in London and I saw it last week in Vancouver, or week before last in Vancouver. But I was like, I need to hear about Houston. I need to hear. Did Megan get on stage? I don't know anything. I've been waiting to be like, Stephanie, tell me everything. But I'm not going to get distracted by that. I'm clearly distracted by that. I'm going to focus on what we're doing here in this video. So first, I'm going to list the food. The food is better. It's healthier. The portions are right. The the local people make food for the local people instead of the governments being the government and these huge industries like controlling everything. I'm gonna ignore your comments about the concert. We're not talking about this now. I know I brought it up, but I can't help it. I get distracted by shiny things. All right. Number 2 on the list. We're moving on to number 2. Number 2 is constantly learning. You will be constantly learning on this. I can't stay focused. I'm in the comments. You'll be constantly, if you move abroad, you will be constantly learning new things. And it's not just like learning the local language, it's learning the local customs, it's learning new things, it's unlearning. You'll also be unlearning ways of life that may have been unhealthy for you, right? Like I was in Pilates class yesterday, and our instructor showed up late. Like not like late to be there early. You know, it's like you don't get there early to teach. If you've ever taught class, any kind of class, you get there a little early. But he showed up after class started. And there was no, you need to stay later. There wasn't, like, no one said it. Like, we were all like, okay. Because what is the rush? What is the rush? What, you know what I mean? Like, everyone who lives in my city knows that traffic can take you, depending on the day, the same commute that might take you 20 minutes one day might take you 2 hours the next. So you showed up 2 minutes late. Why do I care? I'm sitting here chilling. And like, I don't know that 5 years ago, when I lived in the US, I wouldn't have been looking at my watch and like talking to the staff, like, why don't we have an instructor? I don't know. I'm not saying I would have. I'm saying I don't know that I wouldn't have. I don't know that there wouldn't have been one Karen in the room to be like, excuse me, when are we starting? Who's teaching us? No, we were all like, my teacher who was teaching upstairs made sure that we were open. He waited downstairs with us until our instructor came in and then he left and went to go teach his class. So there were 2 classes going on. They both started late and no one was tripping. Like it's an unlearning, right? It's a learning that there's no rush, right? Like if I miss 2 minutes of Pilates, it's not worth me like raising my stress hormones about, right? Because then what was I doing here, right? It's unlearning the ways that America makes you rush from one place to the next. I haven't unlearned eating on the go yet. You know, in America, you grab something, you eat, you're walking, you're moving, you're doing something, you eat and then go. Here, and in most countries outside of the US where we're not forced to run from one thing to the other, people look at you like, girl, what are you doing? You better sit down somewhere and eat that food. Eat that food. Sit down. Someone mentioned earlier that doggy bags aren't really a thing here. You can get a doggy bag, but they're not generally offered. Like unless you don't eat your food, and if you don't eat your food here, at least if you don't eat your food, someone's gonna be like, did you want something else instead? A meal is an event here. In Europe, now I'm gonna tell you, I remember Spain being better for night people. Because what you mean the restaurant don't open till 8? I want to be in bed at 8. I want to be in the shower at the latest at 8. I want to be in my pajamas and my fuzzy socks at 8. Restaurant don't. I was walking around one day at like 5:30 or 6, like, where can I get some? I just want some food. I was so hungry. And I hadn't been leaving. I think I was in Madrid and I was really jet lagged. And I was months into my journey and the like moving all the time was taking a toll on me. And I think I'd just come back from the US and I don't remember why, but I was in the ER in the US. Something happened. I'd gone to the ER. So I'd been like sick. And I showed up and I couldn't find a place to eat. If you're hungry at 5, I got to eat from the grocery store. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I want to sit down, but like I can't sit down to eat because nothing's open. Now, if you're a night person, take your behind to Europe and do whatever it is they do. I love it. I love that for you. It's not for me. It's not for. What do you mean the rest? I could not find open restaurants at 5 or 6 o'clock. See, this is the thing. I don't eat gluten. And every place in Madrid was like, look at our plates of sandwiches. Would you like sandwich A, sandwich B, or sandwich C? That's all the options we have was sandwiches. I don't eat sandwiches. I can peel off the meat off of this, and that's it. These are very specific things for me, right? If you're hungry and you can eat gluten without going blind, go for it. My body fights gluten. It thinks it's an invader. So I get all kinds of reactions when I eat it. I said, oh, what is y'all? Listen, oh, sorry. No, if you're a night person, that schedule's for you. It's not for me. So that was a learning thing. We're not talking about food. We're talking about the learning and the unlearning you will do by immersing yourself in another culture is huge. Yolanda said her body loved the bread in Spain. I was in Mexico when I found out that I have an allergy to corn. Because I ate corn every meal for like 3 weeks. And on week 3, my body was like, oh no, like my doctor had to put a needle in inside my eye, like the little pink pocket there, because it was one of the worst cases of my thingy that he's ever seen. And was like, oh no, this is really bad. We have to treat this. All because my body was like, corn? You eating corn like this? No. I moved the same day I got the injection in my eye. I was leaving my Airbnb and moving to a new neighborhood. I'm walking around the neighborhood with one eye patched up, and there are no foreigners in the neighborhood. And everybody was like, oh. Like, you know what it's like? Yes, I see you staring at me. I can see you staring at me with my one eye, but like, it's okay. Because I've got a big, like, white bandage over my eye. And everybody in this neighborhood is local, and I'm not local. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna blend in a little bit more in like 2 days when I can take this off. Woo! Yes, you're constantly learning and learning things. Okay, so y'all in the comments, tell me what you have learned and unlearned by being in other countries. I think this is really important for everyone. Like, you know when you know someone's country, but you don't know how country they are? Jay in the comments telling me how country she really is. Hunt for their meat? Hunt? Like, I know it's a thing that happens. It's not a thing I hear Black women talking about frequently. So I'm very glad that you're bringing it to us, Jay, and talking about it. But I will listen. If survival comes down to hunting animals for meat, I'll be eating insects, dog. Roast me up some grasshoppers, please, because I just don't see myself. Like, me and a deer, the deer probably gonna get me first. I'm so sorry. Like, they're used to this outside stuff, and I am truly a city girl. So, oh yes. Jay's been deer hunting since she was 8. Are there any other deer hunters out here? Because I told you, I was in Vancouver, and I saw on the island, like within like 20 feet of me at different times, I saw at least 10 deer. The one that came up into me in the back, I showed you guys last week, I think. The one deer that showed up in the backyard, like this far away from the door, staring at me. Like I'm the problem. Baby, I'm inside the house. Mind your dear business. Why are you outside the house staring at me inside the house? I'm inside. I'm inside in a house that's been here for like at least 50 years before you were even born. It's not a new house. I'm not in a tent. I'm inside. Why are you, Mr. Deer, Mrs. Deer, baby deer, whoever you are? I don't know deer apart. This one didn't have antlers, but I don't know if it's antler season. There's a season, right? I don't know. Why are you staring at me like that inside my house? Well, not my house, but you know. What? Go mind your business. Go mind your dear business somewhere else. Don't stay here staring at me. Nosy. Just nosy. They have not unlearned to be nosy. I have unlearned to be nosy in Mexico. Baby, it's not my business. It's not my business. I swear it's not my business. Whatever that is, that's not my business. Now I look, but I will look and walk and keep going. I'm not stopping. It's not my business. That deer act like it had never seen a Black person before. And it might not have, it might not have on that island ever seen a Black person before. I don't know how long that deer's been alive. I don't know what windows it's been looking in, but it may have never seen a Black person before. So yes, I will give the deer a break. The deer may have never seen someone who looks like me before. All right, let me go through and talk about Cat from Rebloom Room says, hunting the wild asparagus is the life for me. Oh, Amina used to hunt with her or she hasn't hunted since her grandfather passed away. I hope you find an opportunity to hunt and some joy around hunting in your future. All right. All right, let's see. All right. Real quick to the food. Traveling diaspora said the food in Mexico is so much better, nutrient dense. Yes. I ate less, didn't snack much, ate less sugar, but still drank, lost 14 pounds from the food and lots of walking. Hold, please. I'm adding something to the list. It was kind of on there, but not really. All right. Okay, so what did we unlearn? Adelia has unlearned being pressed about anything. It's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. The last time I think I remember hearing Adelia a little bit pressed was when I'm putting your business in the street. Sorry, girl. But I think you may have talked about this already publicly. She was waiting for a plumber to come. And the plumber was like, yeah, I'm going to be there. And the plumber never, not like showed up late, because that's what we've learned to expect, but like never showed up at all. And she was like, when is it a no-show? I think, that's at least a year ago, I think. I think living in a world where there are a lot of countries that are not America where people don't want to say no, where culturally people don't say no. And so they give you an answer that sounds like a yes, but if you read between the lines, it's really a no. But how would you know to read between the lines? Because it sounds like a yes. And sometimes the answer is they say yes, and they don't really mean yes. I'm dealing with this now in South Africa. For those of you coming to South Africa, the planning process with us next year, the planning process. We learned, I saw it firsthand in Marrakesh. The vendors we worked with did not want to tell us no. So they told us yes. And then when the no happened, they were like, I don't know. I don't know how this happened. And I'm like, if it's a no, tell me a no so I can make an alternate plan. Don't tell me yes. And then in the moment, it's a no. But that was very much of a culture I experienced in Marrakesh. And so I think for me to be there a long time, I would have to get used to what I, as an American, receive as someone lying in my face, just lying, where they might see it as kind of a cultural, I know of course we say yes to everything. It might be a cultural thing for them. I don't know. But for me, it was just a lie. Like, you're just lying to me. So to live there, I would have to be unpressed about yeses actually meaning no. I'm not there yet. Somebody's God is working on me, but I am not there yet. I'm not so unpressed by everything that I can keep having people telling me yes in my face when they really mean no. But South Africa is trying to get me there. I deal with thing in South Africa, and they keep saying yes and then giving me like, I'm like, can I have a phone? And they're like, yes, here you go. Like, that's not what I asked. Yes, here you go. And I'm like, it's not. You keep saying yes and then giving me something else that is not what I asked for. Yes, you can have here's a phone. And you're like, what? So South Africa's been interesting. And that is something that I think helps you learn to stop being about things. Because my attitude in South Africa, which all of y'all not to see, is whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens with this trip happens. Love y'all. Trying to make it as best as we can, but they keep offering me something that's not a phone. All right. JG learned to mind her own business. Yes. That's what's happening over there is not my business. Like I said, I'm a look. As I'm walking, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. Yolanda has unlearned impatience. Yes. Traveling diaspora has learned to let things go. Shonda is learned, but culture shock is real when you return to the US. Yeah. I don't think we realize how American America is until you go abroad. All right. Our Black Utopia has learned to relax and enjoy the moment. I no longer overbook my day. I'm going to go ahead and say that is part of being in Portugal, but also a lot of being retired and being able to do whatever you want. All right? Woo! Patience not to be in a rush. High Vibe looks forward to the deprogramming. Y'all are funny. My travel goddess says I'm from Louisiana. They fed us everything they stabbed in the swamp. Stabbed in the swamp? I've literally never thought about it that way. Like, if you mentioned like food coming from the swamp, I would have thought of fishing. I wouldn't have thought of like stabbing the food. But I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I would have never thought about it that way. Stabbed in the swamp. Okay. Yes. All right. Global grannies learn to relax and to sit in the park. Yes. Because outside of the US, not in every country, but a lot of countries have public spaces that are available for the whole community to use. So you can just go and sit in the park. Now, park in Mexico City, you're going to see all kinds of grandmas and grandpas and teenagers making out, because there aren't a lot of like very private spaces in a lot of homes. And so the parks are kind of like love fest a lot of time. Some of our larger parks that are not like centrally in a neighborhood. Like, you wouldn't go to like the park someone might, but grandma and grandpa probably aren't going to the park down the block from the house. They might take a little train ride to get to a park a little further away to go make out. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, every time I walk through a park, there's either like someone dancing, someone doing something I don't need to see because that's not my business. But get it, grandma. Kids playing. Like, our parks are used as parks are intended to be used. I remember being in LA with my best friend and her husband. And I don't know why we were in LA, because I didn't live there. Neither one of us. We grew up in Riverside, but we were in LA. And he was like, I need to use the bathroom. We said, oh, there, and he says, there's a park right there. I'll just go in the park. And we were like, no, you won't. He was like, it was like, why? And we were like, no, we will find a place for you to go to the bathroom that is not inside a park bathroom. Like I'll find you a Burger King, a Pizza Hut or something, but a park bathroom in LA? No, baby. No, because our parks generally aren't used in the way they're intended, generally, in a lot of places. You want to go into a dark room where no one can see you from the outside? You're so Canadian. You were like, look at you. Being from a safe part of the world. Being from Vancouver. You think you can go inside a park bathroom in a neighborhood you don't know and no one knows you. Okay, white man. We had to tell him no. He acted like we were holding him hostage. We were like, we don't like. We'll find you a place. It's not a park. It's not a park. Mm-mm. 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 Okay. Monica Adelina is taking the chance to be engaged with locals who really want to learn more about the USA. Good. Tracy's given herself 2 years to decompress from mistakes. It's only been a month, and people are asking how has leaving the U.S. affected. Our systems can't thoroughly comprehend the reset yet. Yeah, you leave, and there is a reset. Now, some of that, we're going to get to it soon. So it's a different experience, especially for Black women outside of the U.S., especially if you're leaving behind the things that were weighing you down when you leave the U.S. Goshan said I would tussle with a fish, but anything else, rustle me up grass if I have to hunt. Yeah, I think I'd be with you too. Like, I'll be a vegetarian, I guess. All right. Marissa has learned that she doesn't have to mean mug everybody, which is a must in St. Louis. I be out here smiling and cheesing and saying hello to everybody. Everybody I pass on the streets gets some version of like good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now, I never know what time of the day it really is because time is just a concept. So I'm always wrong. I'll be like, buenos dias, or I'll say like, buenos tardes, and someone will respond, buenos dias. And I'm like, oh, is it dias? Okay. I don't know. Because I wear a watch, I don't look at it for time. I don't. Everybody, you don't get a hello from me. Hi, Anada. Not hi, but some version of hello. Okay, Greta learned in India that even the French fries were amazing. Even food that isn't local to the place was better for her abroad. Just passing through, when I was in Japan, I had to learn portion control. When I was served miniature meals 3 times a day for the first few days, I thought it was a mistake. And I realized besides American meals is not. Yep. My mom has gotten used to not being covertly followed in the stores when I'm trying to mind my own business. Yes. Ooh. Let's see. Kat says working with international law students, I learned that they asked me anything 3 times because they thought my no would turn into a yes if they asked 3 times. Because nobody, in a lot of countries, people don't say no. So when they say no, when you say no, I'm sure they're like, what is that? I had a service guy show up on a completely different day. You can fight it, but he's here now. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Let's see. Going with the flow is the ticket. When we were house sitting, owners said the city needed to do inspections between 10 to 12 to 2. City let them know at 1:30, but they couldn't make it. had to unlearn not viewing myself as born a suspect. Yeah. Polly says he had to learn to enjoy. I have learned to enjoy not being codependent. We're going to talk about that one a little later on. Let's see. You had to unlearn to argue in public. I'd love to know more about the experience of arguing in public in Senegal. In public, I was just like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to ignore you. Because you hit crazy and I'm not going there with you. So I'm going to go about my day, was how a lot of Senegal was for me. So I don't know. Public spaces where you don't have to spend money to hang out. Yes, there's lots of them in other countries. Free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi everywhere you go. I was in the beach in Porto and there was Wi-Fi on the beach provided by the city. Now I later realized that it was a port town and the free Wi-Fi was close to the port, which makes sense, right? But like free Wi-Fi. Children being children. And I will add to that, Black children being children, right? When I was in Durban, 2018, I was at the beach and I saw so many Black children enjoying themselves and like being in the pools, in the ocean and running around. And there was also like a water park right there. They're running through the water park and they're having a great time. And I realized that in the US, I rarely see large groups, like there were hundreds of them out there. I rarely see large groups of Black children being children without being policed by somebody. And whether that is an external source, because they feel like they can, and they have power and control over these Black children, or it's an internal source like a family member who's trying to control them so they don't upset or offend anyone else. That's what I'm used to seeing. Here, the kids were like running and splashing and doing, and I was like, is this what it looks like when Black people are free? Okay, I get it now. It was just like so joyous. Every time my hotel was at the beach. Every time I was walking to or fro, it was just kids and playing and running in the water, out of the water. Is this what it looks like when Black people aren't policed and our joy isn't policed? Okay. All right now. I love it. Hey, Sparkles. Thanks for the super chat. Yes, girl, I do not know the time of day. I do not know the time of day. What? Especially if like yesterday, I left home at 7:30 and got back maybe around noon. Is it 4 p.m.? And is it 2? I don't know. I've been out all day. I've been out all day. I was out 4 hours all day. I don't know. What's happening? Eve from Stable Diva, who is speaking this year at Exodus Summit, exodussummit.com, learned to interact with her actual neighbors. It's a good thing to meet local people. Yes, it is. You'll see people performing all kinds of tonsillectomies on their partner in public. And what you do, I mean, you can look, but keep it moving, right? You just, oh, okay. Sometimes I'm really like, oh, they're 80. Okay, all right now. Or they're 14 and they're on benches right beside each other or opposite from each other. And you're just like, when will I be on a bench? What is it, mate? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You won't see that ever. Ever. Ooh. Let's see. I was in my last few weeks in Canada and America. I went into I think I was going into a restaurant in Canada and I was like, Well, surely they'll have Wi-Fi because every restaurant in Mexico has Wi-Fi. I walked past a place the other day and I was thinking of doing like working from there one day. And I was like, do you have Wi-Fi? And the guy was like, in Spanish. I asked in Spanish. She answered in Spanish. He was like, yeah. Like what? Like why would you ask me a stupid question like that? And I'm like, you're not a cafe. Like you're a real restaurant. And so I wasn't. He was like, I didn't say that, but I was like, okay. You don't treat me like a dumb tourist. That's fine. I'll take it. Yes, no, I don't do anything on the free Wi-Fi besides like message somebody. I'm not like, I know. And I use my VPN sometimes. I know. It's generally the Wi-Fi I use in the city is the city provided Wi-Fi. I don't think anybody's hacking that. I know you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, but I'm gonna ignore the comment when you type it. All right, we have a deal. I was like, surely these restaurants will have Wi-Fi. And when they didn't, I was like, do you not care about your people being connected? Do you not? I was gonna borrow my bestie's car to go see another friend who was gonna come see me. She was gonna take the ferry out from Seattle and see me on Vancouver Island, but something happened, so it didn't work out. I was talking to my bestie about it. She was like, you need to get cell service for that day so that you know you can like check the best when you're coming home, you can check traffic and get the best ways to get here. And I was like, that is so foreign to me because like I live in Mexico City. If there's traffic, there's traffic. I'm not about to be updating 17 different ways. I'm just going to drive. You know what I mean? I'm just going to go the way I go. Now, these drivers out here, they'll update and they'll see what's going on. But like, I'm on a small island. Whatever happens, happens, right? And I was like, in my brain, I'm like, no, before I leave, I'll just get on Wi-Fi and check the directions and I'll use those directions to get home. Because it's like an hour drive. It's not that far. I didn't remember that they don't have Wi-Fi the way we have Wi-Fi. And that you know, I didn't care about updating along the way as much as she cared about me updating along the way. I was like, I'll be fine. But yeah, it was the not remembering they didn't have Wi-Fi that would have had me screwed up a little bit. Traveling with Diaspora wants to remind all of you to use a VPN with their free Wi-Fi. If I got to look up Google Maps and my cellular service is not working, I'm going to use the free Wi-Fi. If somebody wants my social, my bank account info, come get it, I guess. I'm not doing any of that stuff on free Wi-Fi. It's really like, I need this information now. I need to Google what show I've seen this actor in because I just saw his face, not in person, but like on something. I know this person. Who is that? That's what I'm using the free Wi-Fi for. Ridiculousness. All right. The classy hacker does not want you to use the free Wi-Fi. She's not wrong, but I'm going to ignore her. All right now. Let's see. I'm in the comments. All right. I've literally calculated my vacation hours to see how long I can stay in Merida this fall. So I'm not ready to make this kind of calculation. Quit your job, Kat. Quit your job. And you won't have to do that calculation. Hi, everyone. My name is Rashida Dow, and I'm the co-host of Exodus Summit. What's Exodus Summit, you say? Because you've never, ever heard about it before. Exodus Summit is a 3.5 day event this fall, October 6th through 9th. that will help you make the big moves in your life. Move abroad, take a career break, be in Merida for as long as you want without worrying about vacation days. This year we're talking about time freedom, because who doesn't need more time in their life? Location freedom, because Kat wants to be in Merida without calculating vacation days. And financial freedom, because money's nice. Money helps. Money helps people say money can't buy happiness. Money buys me things that make me happy. Money buys me experiences that make me happy. Yes. JG, always gonna call me out. An hour late for the intro. Yes, ma'am. My name's Rashida Dow. I'm a career break coach. You can find info about my coaching at rashidadow.com. I'm gonna learn to point one day. Someone screenshot this. All right. Okay, so you guys know Exodus Summit is coming up. I love me some money. I love me some money. And you know what I love to do with my money? I love to pay Black women money. Exodus Summit, one of the things we love to do in Exodus Summit is to run that money through the cycles, which reminds me. All right. Britt says, quit your job, or if you can't, take a long career break. Take a long career break. I started off with 1 year. I was going to go back to practicing law after 1 year. It's 5 years later. Britt took 3 years out. She's halfway through with no urge to go back. Yes. Amina's not ready to quit her job. So she's looking for a remote one. Libria Jones, the queen of remote work, will be speaking at Exodus Summit this year, talking about how to use AI to power your job search. Because you need a job. If you need a job, I would like you to have a way for money to come in. Unless you already have enough money that you don't need money to come in. And let's talk about this. Outside of the US, the amount of money you need saved so that in your brain you won't need money coming in is significantly lower than the amount of money in the US. Significantly. Just leaving the US. You'll see. You don't need all that money. I'm about to cry. Get your employer to reimburse you for Exodus Summit. Yes. Yes. Does your employer know I'm telling you to quit? I hope so. Everyone, do you have a continuing education budget? Can you get this approved? Get your ticket at exodussummit.com. Yes. Yes, this is education. It's education. You can hear Team Zekas talk to you about how to get more money from the job. Have your job pay for your ticket to hear a woman give you strategies about how to make more money at that job, how to get that job to pay you more money. Have that job pay for you to go to hear how to get more money from that job. Do y'all see it? Do y'all see it? Y'all see it? All right. Anita says, calculate your freedom number and you will be shocked and can bounce. Jamila Souffrant from Journey to Launch is coming to speak to us at Exodus Summit to talk about different fire calculations and figuring out how much money you need to do the things you want to do. She don't give it to you. She gonna give it to you. Yes, yes, yes. All of you right now should be talking to putting a meeting on your boss's calendar, or wait, don't log in today. I'm so sorry for saying that. Make yourself a note that tomorrow morning, the first thing you're going to do is either write your boss an email or put a meeting on the calendar and be like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. I need you to pay for it. Listen, just passing through. I'm going to tell you that you can miss the summit, but if Jesus shows up at your door, I would understand. I would like, the rest of y'all would have no excuse though, because you don't know he's here. So come. Come. All right. What haven't, I talked about this a bunch, so you guys know Exodus Summit is coming. The schedule is up at exodussummit.com. Oh, one of the things we haven't talked about, I know I have this tab open somewhere. Here we go. Is getting tickets to women who need tickets. And I have a document somewhere. Oh, I know where to find this info. In my texts. It's in my texts. If you would like to donate money, I gotta make sure I copy the right thing. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not. I'm scrolling too far, y'all. There's a link. You can donate to us on Cash App. Donate. Okay. And this is how it works. For women who can't afford to come, for Black women who can't afford to attend Exodus Summit this year, it's not in that chain. It's in this chain. Our community donates money for tickets. And I'm going to give you the ticket link, which one of the things I love about Apple products is you can get the same thing that's on my phone as on my computer, except sometimes it's not. Like this text is in the phone chain, but it's not in the computer chain. And that's annoying. You did not need that information. That's where we are today. All right. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to, no, I can't talk and type. I can do it, but none of the words will be spelled correctly. All right, so here's the link to this. Blissful, you have just brought up, so this link is in the chat. If you are not a Black woman, the summit is not for you. But what you could do is sponsor another Black woman attending the summit. You don't need to write to us to tell us that you don't feel that it's right that you can't attend. What you could do instead, if you really cared about the community, is donate money. Not everything's for you. Not everything's for you. If you feel some kind of way about not being allowed to attend, in your heart, look for the place that allows you to donate your ticket money so another Black woman can attend, a Black woman can attend. Because when Black women get free, it means everybody's free. Ain't that the quote? Everybody's free. Because we are at the intersection of trash and crap. And so, not coming from us, but given to us. And so, when Black women get free, everybody's a little bit freer. If you would like to be freer and you're not invited to this party, send someone else to the party. Donate. All right. Now, Blissful, let's talk about this. I was signed up for the summit. The thing is, I have 8 more years to reach my FIRE goals. I don't plan on leaving the US until I reach my FIRE number. Part 1. Part 2, JG says that's a reason to sign up. And then Blissful responds, But isn't it for women who plan on leaving immediately or within the next year or two? No, it's not. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay. So what we're doing this year is we are talking to Black women. Black women are talking to Black women about how to get more time freedom, location freedom, and money freedom. But this isn't for when you, it's not solely for when you're abroad. It's for your life right now. If you have 8 years between now and your departure, don't you want a little bit more time freedom? A little bit more you time, a little bit more you to do whatever you want time along the way? If there's 8 years, don't you wish you could spend 3 months working from somewhere else? I don't know what your work situation is now, blissful. But if you want more money freedom, don't you want to think about ways? Because I know you're saving for fire, so I'm sure you're very serious about your money. But what if you heard from women about how to speed that up? Or how to go somewhere where that number is a little lower, right? Or how in the moment now to spend the money to get more time freedom. This is not a you have to move abroad in today or next year for this to be relevant. This is how in the life I'm living today can I incorporate these things more? That's what we're talking about. How can I incorporate these things more in the life I'm living today? Disabled Diva is a speaker this year, and she also sponsored someone to attend the summit. I shouldn't have said that because I don't want y'all doing any kind of connections in the comments because it's a little bit of work for us. So if you would like to donate money, do that. If you would like a ticket, get in the Facebook group. If you're not already in there, the link is something. It's exodussummit.com/community. I'm going to put it up on the screen, but I had to find that. And you'll see how to ask for a scholarship in the community. All right. Yes. So you don't have to be immediately leaving. You can definitely to come and to benefit. You will learn things that will help you make your life easier today, not just 8 years from now. I get that. And I love that for you. I would say if there's I'm struggling with this one. There are people doing the same job you are who are making more than $150,000 right now. I don't know what you do. But if you're a Black woman, I know this to be true. There are people doing your same job who are making more money, who have better situations. And if someone isn't, like I said, it's not just about making money. It's about like getting free. It also puts you in a community with other women who are doing the same thing, right? And maybe because of where you are in your life, you'll come into the community as a leader. A lot of our women come into the communities as leaders in one way or another, but are also learners because there are a lot of women in the community who can show them different things that they were not ready for or used to. All right. Never, ever, 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 ever. Is there a time limit on when one can upgrade to watch 2022 replays? No, but the price for getting the replays goes up on October 6th, the day the summit starts. Okay, so October 6th or 10th. Don't wait. It's October 6th-ish. It's in the background. It's happening. I don't know. October 6th or 10th, the price goes up. October 10th, Stephanie says. She knows these things. Now, we agreed on the date, but what is it? I don't know. What is a day? Between October 6th and 10th, I won't know what day it is either. There's going to be little crazy days. I don't know. Anyhow, the price goes up. So if you have a ticket to 2023, if you have the weekend pass to 2023, you can get the 2022 replays for $150. If you have the all access pass to 2023, you can buy the 2022 replays for $100. I think those numbers are right. They're on the website. But no matter which pass you buy after October 10th, there's no discount anymore because that's a discounted price. The price for them without a ticket is $300. And the price, even if you buy a ticket, whatever, 2023 ticket, the 2022 tickets are all going to be $300. Flat price, no discount on October 10th. $2022 was good. Steph says all Black women need time in the prime of their lives where work has absolutely no say. Yep. All right. I'm going to see if y'all. Monica Adelina wants the first Exodus Summit. It will be on sale again in the future. It is not on sale right now. All right. One day. Bibois is buying hers tonight. I'm assuming you're a she and you're a Black woman, or you wouldn't tell me you're buying a ticket. And don't wait for the morning of 10:10 because these things. Oh, actually, we should say this. When we give you a date, keep in mind that our I don't know if Stephanie's changed this, but our platform provider is in Europe. I think they're in London or somewhere in England. So their time, their 10:10, October 10th is not my 10:10. But whenever their 10:10 happens, the price change. Things will happen. So don't wait till the last minute is what I'm saying. Don't wait till the last minute. All right. So we talked about this. You don't have to be ready to move to do this. You have to be ready to learn to attend Exodus Summit. You have to be ready to want to be in community with Black women who want to do the things you want to do. All right. Okay. So here's the thing. We've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. And I've gotten to two things on my list of 9. So we're gonna pick up the pace because I'm not gonna be here all day. Because later on today, I'm gonna be live. You'll be seeing this again on our Black Utopia, right? With Halisi at 3 p.m. Eastern time. None of the things I said might be factual. And I'm not lying to you. I just don't know things. Yes, but I think that's right. 3 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be live on Halisi's channel, Our Black Utopia. Come through. We gonna talk. I'll be talking to a man later today. Y'all gonna see me interact. I don't think you've ever seen me interact with a human man online before. If you watched the first summit, Travis was in it. Nope, but we didn't interact with him because it was a video, I think. But I like Rick. He's a good egg, so it's fine. All right, number 3 on the list. On my list of 9. We talked about 2 things for over an hour. Number 3 on the list, healthcare. If you watched Steph's video yesterday, she talked about healthcare. The things I want to say about healthcare aren't necessarily about pricing, because that's something that comes up often. But Stephanie always says that healthcare is a reason to leave America, not to stay in America, because we hear from people all the time, especially women who are thinking about their older years, their more mature years, when they think they might rightfully think they might need more healthcare. They often think that they can't leave the U.S. because in the U.S. healthcare is like something we clench onto and we hold tight. We're holding tight to the healthcare, tight. In a lot of other countries, healthcare is just a right. If you're in the country legally, it's just a right. What I want to say about healthcare is that a lot of times, outside of the U.S., healthcare is not only more accessible, but it's more respectful. The experience you have with your healthcare provider is more respectful through the whole experience, right? Like I said this before, I have to see a retinal specialist, and I've gone to some in Ohio, I've gone to some in California, and each time is very much you're waiting in the waiting room. I waited in the waiting room once for 4 hours. I left and they called me and were like, "Why you leave?" I'm on my lunch break. I also haven't eaten. I had a granola bar in my bag and I ate that. Oh, it's 3:30 Eastern time. Oh, y'all making me show up early. I see what it is. 3:30 Eastern time. We'll be there. All right. When I got same doctors, retinal specialists in the US, every single time I go, there is nobody else in the waiting room. They have a waiting room. There's nobody else there. There's nobody there in the waiting room. Because it's not really a waiting room. It's a sitting down for a second. I saw a dermatologist because my first time seeing her. I sat down for 13 seconds. And then they were like, come back up and talk to us. No form to fill out, but like talk us through some things we don't know about you. It's your first visit, whatever. I sat back down and he was like, come on, let's go to the back room. And then the nurse came in and was like, okay, so we need to do these things. And then the doctor came in and was like, hi. All of it happened in like 5 minutes. From the time I came in the door to the time I was face to face with the doctor was 5 minutes. I talked to my retinal specialist about the fact that I was surprised that I never have to wait here. And she was like, I don't understand. You have to wait in the waiting when you get to a doctor in America? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, but that's if you don't have, that's if you're getting public care. And I was like, no, even with private care and insurance, we often still wait for hours. Like our appointment time has no relationship to the time we're seeing the doctor. And she was like, what do you mean? And she's in Mexico, practicing in Mexico, but she's from somewhere else, some other country in South America that some people might think, oh, you're not going to get good healthcare there. She don't even know what a waiting room is. And she works in healthcare. She does not understand the concept of having hundreds of people waiting in a room. 20 people all waiting for the same doctor, 3 appointments all at the same time. He gives you 5 minutes of his time. I come here and we'll have an hour. My doctor, my dermatologist this week was with me for over an hour. Nobody else, just me. Not in and out to go do something in another room and come back. My eye doctor used to do that. He'd come in and he'd go to another room and then he'd come in and go to another. And I'd be like, what are we? So not only is it cheaper, it's more accessible. I don't have to wait weeks for appointments. I WhatsApped one doctor's office. They couldn't see me. I WhatsApped another doctor's office. They were like, come on in. Boop, boop, boop. It's more accessible. You can get house calls. I told you I went to an urgent care, and I had to wait 10 minutes to see a doctor. And in that time, the urgent care receptionist apologized multiple times for the long wait and told me I could leave and come back if I wanted to. I'm so sorry you have to wait. It's not really like this. Yada yada yada. I said, oh, okay, because I've been in urgent care waiting for hours before, so this is fine. This 10 minutes is fine. Eve was in the hospital for a week for $1,200 in Bali. Eve is someone with health issues. We're going to talk to her about this at the summit. Someone with health issues that thinks through where she's going to go when she travels abroad. I know she didn't expect to be in the hospital for a week, but when she was, that pricing, in America, that would be like your first 3 hours, maybe 2. Without insurance, that's like your first, I don't know. Mm-mm. 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 Here, it's like I said, it's not just that it's quality care and that it's significantly cheaper. Outside of the US, healthcare is good. You're typically significantly cheaper, but the accessibility of it is really good. Lanak, I'm speaking about my experience in Mexico, but I'm speaking about experiences more generally as well. But yes, my experiences in medical care have mostly been in Mexico. Okay, next on the list, because we got to move a little faster, y'all. A new social circle. If you're looking to spend time with more like-minded people, let me rewind this real quick. 5 hours to wait in an urgent care. I walk in. The longest I've ever waited in my urgent care was 10 minutes, and they were like, I cannot believe this is happening. Our doctor got delayed. We're so sorry. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Woo! Okay, a new social circle. You get to choose your new friends when you move abroad, like start from scratch. And there's a joy in that. Now, if you're a person who has a hard time making friends, know that when you move abroad, if you're an introvert, those extroverts are going to pull you in. And if you don't want to get pulled in, you don't have to get pulled in, right? Like you can decide, I say this all the time, you get to decide who you are. You get to be a whole new person. Are you a person who wants to make friends playing pool? Show up at a pool hall and don't speak the language, and you're going to have some new friends. They're going to be like, who's this new person? In most places in the world, right? I find that a lot of places outside of America aren't necessarily as socially competitive. There's got to be a better description than that, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. I'm going to say socially competitive right now until we come up with a better word for it than the US. And so making friends can be a lot easier, especially if you're making friends with other people who are in the same situation you are. But you will have a whole new social circle of people that you choose, not people who you went to 3rd grade with because you didn't get a choice. You get to choose your new friends. And you don't have to leave your old friends, but you can always miss their calls if you never liked them anyway. Urgent care at the pharmacia. Yeah, the pharmacies here have doctors. You walk in the pharmacy and they're like, oh, go talk to the doctor. I don't know. Talk to the doctor. 20-minute exam, diagnosis, prescriptions, and meds. 29. Yes. Mm-hmm. Make new friends. Make new friends. Choose. I have no idea what just happened. I have absolutely no idea. Did I leave the screen? I have no idea what happened. I guess I pressed something. Okay, if I left, it went dark. Well, thank you for sticking around. Hey, Aspen Sierra. All right. Next on the list, which I think is really important to a lot of us, but we don't talk about it, is assistance. Assistance inside the home, right? Sometimes I talk to women in the US who have kids and feel like they have to do everything themselves. And I want you to know that you can go somewhere. If you don't have a village at home, in your current home, you can go somewhere and pay for a village. You can go somewhere and build your own village, right? Go somewhere and make your village happen. Ashley in Africa did that in Tanzania and South Africa, right? She was getting help I think she lived in Atlanta, and now she's in Africa with more help, right? If you feel like you're alone and you can't do it all, why don't you choose to move to a place where you can get help, right? Our Black Utopia says €8 an hour for home cleaning here in Lisbon, $46 an hour in the US. When I was in Ohio, I could afford for a cleaning lady, the amount of money I could wrap my head around spending for a cleaning lady to come. Time she came, she was there all day. I chose for her to come once every 3 weeks. Here it's weekly, and I pay about the same amount. And I pay my cleaning lady more than she asked for. I asked her to set a rate. She set the rate, and I pay her more because I never have change. So I don't play that. I give her money because I don't have change. What is this odd number? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ask you for change. So take it, please. Because I want her to, if I could get her in a second day a week, but she's busy. And the only free day she has is the day after she already cleans for me. So it'd be 2 days in a row. I don't want that. I want you to rearrange your clients so that you have a free day in the middle of the week to come and hang out with me at my place and do the stuff that I don't want to do. I've never actually said those words to her because that would be crazy. But girl, tell me when your other client moves to Spain and you have a free day. Please and thank you. Like, tell me when they're gone. Fire them. No? Okay, that's not going to work. Yes, no, for a lot of us, labor in other countries may be cheaper than the labor we could find in the US. And if that's important to you, you can choose the country you go to on that. Now, I'm not telling you to go take advantage of people. You're not hearing me say, go somewhere and pay them nothing because they've always accepted nothing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying pay people fairly, because then typically, if it's a woman, you're probably supporting a family. Give them the money and let it circulate in their community, right? You're paying for a service and in which you are circulating the money that you have in a community that might need that money. So I do not like cleaning. There's a woman who does not mind cleaning my home for an amount of money that it's more than I think a lot of people are paying. But baby, I trust her in my home. I don't trust everybody. I trust her in my home. She's kind and she's nice. So I was gone the past few weeks, and sometimes I don't even tell her where I go. Sometimes I tell her, sometimes I don't. I just leave enough money for her. She knows how long I'm going to be gone by the number of bills I've left on the counter. Because I always leave some extra in case I change my plans. I don't come back on time, but I just leave some money on the counter. And she will take it. She'll take one at a time. She comes each week and takes one at a time. She don't take it all. She'll just take one at a time. I love that. But she'll come back and have nothing to do. So she starts fiddling with stuff. Like the other day, she sent me she sent me a message and she was like, I cleaned out your laundry room. I hope you don't mind. And she found like a shoe organizer in there and she moved into another room. But shoe organizer doesn't work very well, which is why it was in the laundry room. I really need to throw it out. But she was like, why don't you have more shoes that aren't being organized? Let me move it and be helpful and organize it. And I was like, thank you. Because even when she shows up and I haven't been here, my place is just as clean as she left it last week. I haven't been here to touch anything. She's gonna find something to do. She's gonna rearrange something. She's gonna organize. She's gonna be like, this laundry room that you get like this, we don't live like this. So I'm gonna fix it. Because she doesn't have time to do it in her regular cleaning schedule. She's going to come and clean even when things don't need to be cleaned. And I love that for me. Right? Here's the key. Show up when you want. Do the thing. The thing that I don't want to do and you have offered to do for money for other people, go ahead and do that. Let me give you some money. If I had kids, there would be a nanny for every hour of the day. I truly think that after a while, by the time I hit like 32, I knew waking up in the middle of the night to feed a child was not my business. That's somebody else's business. You hungry past 9? Good luck. Well, by the time I think it's like early 30s, I was like, oh, that's why people have babies young. That's why y'all have babies at like 18. Not like generally, like humans. Humans throughout history have had children young because this is a young woman's game. That baby got to eat it every hour? Who gonna do that? Why can't he feed them? Like, why doesn't he have milk? Why does his body not produce milk if my body had to produce the baby? I don't like that. I just knew. Listen, I'm in bed like, oh, I just got hungry, but I don't want to get up. I got to get up and feed a whole new person. I would have to have an every hour of the day nanny. And that lady was on Twitter and TikTok getting ripped to shreds for talking about having a nighttime nurse. People were like, why don't lazy Black woman, you need to be the one getting up and giving your... Sign me up for the lazy Black woman when it comes to taking care of other people in the middle of the night because I want to sleep. Any hoodle. Move to a place where you can get the village you need when you move abroad. Your life will be dramatically better. All right. Next on the list, you can choose the weather. You can choose the weather you want when you pick up and move somewhere else. Listen, when I moved to Ohio, Columbus, I had never, ever lived in a place that was gray for 6 months. until I didn't know that was like my brain it didn't grasp that was a thing. 6 months of darkness? It's just gray outside? It's just different shades of gray all day long for 6 months. Why? Like that should be like the state motto. You're not gonna like it here. Ohio, it's gray. Ohio, ain't no sunlight, dog. Like that should be that. It should be on like the sign when you enter, driving into the state. The sign should say, "Goodbye, sun," or something, right? But they don't tell you. You got to show up and learn that the hard way. I moved after 10 winters because I was like, this is enough. 10 winters? I've had it. I will never live in a place that is gray for months at a time again, ever. Yeah, Seattle? No, thank you. Mm-mm. Even more gray? Mm-mm. Alaska? No. You get to choose. You get to choose the weather. Pick up and move and choose where you want to live. A lot of y'all are living in places you don't want to be. A lot of you are living in places where you don't like it outside. I love it outside. It's between 70 and 90 degrees. I don't know what's happening out there. I haven't been out there, but it's somewhere between 70 and 90 degrees almost every day. In December, it's going to get a little cooler. In January, it's going to be a little cooler. Might go down to 60s in the daytime. I live in a place where I love the weather. Chicago is gray from November to June. Why do y'all live in Chicago? You forget the sky is blue? Oh, Celeste, I'm so sorry. You were born and raised in Ohio. I love you, girl. I hope you're in a place now where the sun shines all year round. If the sun will shine in Ohio, but you're like, is that Mr. Sun peeking through the clouds? Is that what I would go to work, it'd be gray. It may be sunny sometime in the day, maybe like a little ray sneaking through the clouds. And then by the time I leave in the evening, it's dark gray again. It's dark gray to dark. The time where there may be sun, I'm inside making some rich man richer. My good waking hours, my childbirthing years went to making some rich man richer. My good me years went to making some rich man richer. My good sunlight hours when I was in Ohio, if they were there, they weren't always there, but some days there was sunlight, making some rich man richer. No, not anymore. No. Stephanie said y'all live in Chicago because we're failing you. And I'm so sorry. ExodusSummit.com. Okay. At Exodus Summit, this woman named, Stephanie Perry. She's going to come and she's going to talk to you about house sitting and how to get started house sitting. George, it's not even just going to be a talk. It's going to be a workshop. I'm claiming it. It's a workshop where she's going to walk you through what you need to do to start, walk you through the platform, walk you through everything. You can start house sitting. You can get your profile up. You can get it started so that you can go to other cities without paying money to stay in accommodations there. Get out of Chicago. Get out of Ohio. Nebraska, I'm sure it's the same. All them places. Okay, so I've got a couple circles. That Midwest and that weather is a no for me. Northeast as well. I don't know how y'all live there. Now, I'm going to say pretty much all of America. I'm a California girl. I can deal with California weather most days. Other than that, what y'all talking about? The Phoenix now? Why is it so hot? What y'all doing? Y'all live on the sun? What is that? The humidity in the Southeast, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. And wait, it's nonsense. And if you want to go to another place, This is the next one on the list. It's the weather is nonsense. And if you want to leave your nonsense weather in a season to go to another place in America with less nonsense weather for that season, it costs you $17,000. Because our transportation systems are trash. Why everybody got high speed rail except for us? Why? Why is that? Why does it cost more sometimes to go from California to somewhere else in America than it would cost to go from like New York to London? Why? Why? What's happening? It's nonsense weather, and they keep you trapped with trashy, garbage transportation systems. The public transportation systems in cities, the inner city system. I can't get from one city to the next without driving because your buses are the laughing stock of the whole world. No, but I've been in buses in Europe, in South America, in Central America, in Mexico. You go from one city to the next. It's a good, comfortable experience. In the US, you got to pay like plane money to be on a bus. That's a good, comfortable experience. What is this? What is this? Why is transportation hot garbage in America if every other place in the world can figure it out besides the auto manufacturers? Oh, wait, that's it. And the way they, like the agriculture companies, can lobby the government into doing whatever they want by putting some money in somebody's pocket. Why don't we have good trains? Why is Amtrak the only system that gets us anywhere? And even them train lines are like a million years old, and there's always somebody going off of tracks. Why? The Body Electric Supplement says you make America sound like a prison. Yes, America makes itself like a prison. You should be able to go from state to state, no problem, cheaply. You can do that in other countries. It costs less to travel in different countries in Europe than it costs to go from one state to the other inside of the US. Why? Why? What's happening? Hot garbage. So you can choose the weather when you go over. You can go somewhere because you like the weather there. And when you're in that country, it's cheaper to go visit other countries. I'm feeling myself getting riled up. $800 to go from one state to the next in the US, but two different countries. Now, I will, granted, America is a large country. So going from one side to the other, I'm not saying it necessarily logistically is the easiest thing in the world or the cheapest thing in the world, but why don't we have high-speed rails? Why don't we have easy, accessible, clean, and safe ways of public transportation to get us from one place to the next that are not planes, that are not all of us getting our individual cars and ruining the environment? Why? Next on the list, and related, outside of the US, it is so easy to find walkable cities. It is so easy to find walkable cities. This makes me mad. Because why? Because what is this? What is this? What are these numbers? I need I need a break. I'm so sorry. I'm legitimately riled up by this. I'm legitimately riled up by the trash options in public transportation. The fact that the US doesn't have walkable cities. And here's the thing that confuses. Okay, so we know that America is full of people. Not everyone, but there's a large, especially if you go on Twitter, you'll see this. There are a large number of people who all they want in life is other people to be less happy than they are. But if that's all you want from life, you already unhappy. So I don't know how anybody can be less happy than you. Like, dog, if your goal in life is to make other people suffer, your life is shit, dog. Like, I'm so sorry. Woo! But there are people who whose whole life is built on the idea that other people should not have peace, they should not have happiness, they should not have safety, they should not have security. And they the things they advocate for frequently confuse me. Like people who are arguing against walkable cities and 15-minute cities. The other day I saw 15-minute city, the idea that everything you should need in a city would be 15 minutes away. 15-minute cities. Let me give you the exact definition. You know, I like to be exact. Okay. From Wikipedia. The 15-minute city is an urban planning concept in which most daily necessities and services such as work, shopping, education, healthcare, and leisure can easily be reached by a 15-minute walk or bike ride from any point in the city. This approach aims to reduce car dependency, promote healthy and sustainable living, and improve well-being and quality of life for city dwellers. I see people all the time arguing against this. I saw someone the other day saying 15-minute cities are just prisons. There are 2 grocery stores within 2 blocks of me, 2 good ones. There's a park within 3. The subway, the metro was like a 20-minute walk. So that's not a 15-minute city, right? But I could get there quicker if I took a bus or something. I'm not in prison. It does not feel like a prison. Walkable cities. I hear these arguments and I'm like, I don't even understand how you got here. Like your jump in logic to go from having things nearby is a great way to build community, to have healthy cities, to have healthy people, to not be so car dependent, not be so fuel dependent when we're watching our fuel dependency destroy our planet. How this argument against it, that people are trying to keep you trapped in a city prison, is so confusing to me, because no one's saying you have to live in a 15-minute city. There are always going to be suburbs. You could white flight your ass to the next suburb, right? And just, drive in. Or I'm sure there'll be a place where you can park and then walk into the rest of the city. But you don't want that because other people like the idea. This is confusing to me. Adelia has thoughts. If you need a car to access it, you keep out the brokies. Having walkable cities. Living in a walkable city will change your life. If you do not live in a walkable city and you move to one, it will change your life. For me, going to the grocery store is not a trip. It's something I do on the way home. Right? I know I love getting my food delivered because that's part of the village I want. If I need to bring anything in bulk, somebody else gonna bring that to me. Thank you. Thank you. It's super cheap to get it done. I love it. But yesterday I was like, there's no fresh fruit in my house. On the way home from Pilates, let me stop by the grocery store that's a block away and get some fruit and go. No, I stopped by the different grocery store, which was 2 blocks away from Pilates, which is further from my home. But I passed by the other grocery store on the way home. The other grocery store is larger, so I went to the larger one. I live in a walkable city. It's nothing like a prison. Why can't the US have more walkable cities where everything you need is right here? Why? What's the problem? Listen, car insurance, car insurance, right? Like too many people are profiting off of America being inaccessible, but a lot of places in America being inaccessible by any means except for cars in order for it to stop. So the government building those roads, the people who are collecting the tolls, car manufacturers, oil and gas companies, insurance companies. There are too many large, very, very large industries built on cars ruling the road in America. And there are countries in the world where industries have, I'm not saying there are countries in the world where industries don't matter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going to say there are countries in the world where their systems weren't built by industries. Their systems were built with community care. You know, insurance company gonna show up and find a way to make some money, no matter how the system is built, right? Like no matter how the system is built, an insurance company's gonna show up and how can I get between the lines and make some money, right? But they didn't build the system. They haven't been lobbying to control the way we move around the country for decades, right? And then we didn't talk about the health conglomerates that also benefit from us not being healthy. And walking people are healthier people. Walking people are healthier people. And that's not a weight thing. That is just a getting up and moving everyday thing is healthier than driving wherever you want to go when you have to go somewhere lifestyle. It just is. Not everybody has to live, like if the idea of a 15-minute city, everything being close to you is scary to you. I understand not living in one, but actively working against them confuses me. I like having a grocery store close by. I have gyms close by, restaurants close by. It don't make sense. Walkable cities are the number one thing. I think are top of my list. I always look for walkable cities when I'm living somewhere, and walkable cities are so much more prevalent outside of the US. Inside the US, lower dementia rates. But who cares when we can sell some gasoline? Whew. Last on my list. Before I get there, have you subscribed? Press the subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Come to Exodus Summit this year if you're a Black woman who is wondering about what life would look for them if they moved abroad. You don't have to be ready to move now. But if this is like an inkling feeling in the back of your head, something you've thought about once or twice, come to the summit and immerse yourself with other Black women who are doing the same thing so they can help show you what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, what's better about living abroad, what's worse. Because I will tell you some things the US does right. I say this as someone who grew up in the US, and so it's kind of like all I knew for a long time. So this might not be right, but it's right for my expectations. I'll say that. So yeah, if you're thinking about living outside of the US, if you're thinking about spending a significant amount of time, if you want more time in your life, more freedom in your life, ExodusSummit.com is the place for you to get your ticket, register for the summit. If you're not sure you're ready to register for the summit, join our community, our Facebook community at ExodusSummit.com/community. I'm put these both up on the screen or in the chat right now. You can tell by the emojis that these are Stephanie's links because she makes things pretty. That's not what I do. Oh yes, and like this video if you haven't liked it enough. Goshan reminded you in the comments. Go ahead and like this video. Okay, Mama Motivates is ready to make Costa Rica the place for her and her 5 babies. All right. Looking for other mothers to migrate with. The Exodus Summit community is full of women with children and partners who are doing the same thing you're doing. So next on the list, the last thing on the list, sorry, excuse me. Next on the list is safety. Now, safety is an illusion. But the veil of safety is significantly higher. It's more opaque over my eyes in Mexico City than it is in any city in the US. I feel safer. I am not saying that I am necessarily safer. I'm saying that I feel safer because the things that I'm scared, but the fears that are mine, because I walk through the world as a Black woman, are fears that are frequently exclusively American. I am not afraid that some lunatic is going to come to my local grocery store and shoot it up because he doesn't like the color of the skin of the majority of the people who shop in my grocery store when I'm anywhere overseas. Anywhere. I'm not. Does that mean that crime can't happen? No. Does it mean that I'm worried about things, about random things happening? I don't think about those things. I don't think about whether I'm safe physically. Am I going to die when grocery shopping? Isn't something that comes into my head. Am I going to die during this interaction with a police officer? Is not something I think about because my only interactions with police officers are me bothering them. Hey, I need some help. Hey, you. Hi. Buenos tardes or dias or whatever it is, baby. I don't know. What are the boundaries of that? I don't. What time is it now? I don't. But yes, when I interact with a police officer here, it's me doing it. And so I'm never afraid that like I'm going to die. I'm never afraid that I'm going to go to a concert and it's going to get shot up. Y'all shooting up country concerts? Y'all shooting up gay clubs? Then people just want to listen to the music, dog. Like what? Right? Like I'm not saying, this is not me saying that crime doesn't happen outside of the US. I'm saying those, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. Mass shootings do not happen anywhere with the frequency they happen in the US. I meant to look this up earlier and I forgot to. Let's see. I'm hitting my Googles real quick. And my Googles tell me, let me share this. Oh, let's do this. Picture in picture layout. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to present this, share screen. How's this going to look? Let me see what this looks like while I'm here. The estimated number of civilian firearms per 100 people. Why we got more guns than people, y'all? Per 100 people, there are 120 guns. It's not funny. I'm laughing because it's so terrible. Per 100 people, and this is a 2017 survey, so you know these numbers are probably higher in the US right now. Per 100 people, there's an estimate of 120 guns. The next highest country is 62, half. The next highest country is half. Yemen. People in America have more guns per person than Yemen, which is supposed to be this war-torn place. America is a war-torn place. Like, woo! Canada, our neighbor to the north, one quarter, about a little between 1/3 and 1/4 of the guns. Mexico ain't even, child. Portugal's number 25. Lots of Europe. I didn't realize how high Europe would be on the. Well, I say high, but like Iceland is 31 guns per 100 people. The United States is 120. And these people probably hunting. In Iceland, I'm guessing they're hunting with those. I mean, the number, but just this alone, the drop from 120 per 100 people to 62 per 100 people is wild. Is wild. That's wild to me. I feel safer in the US, outside of the US, because my neighbors aren't all carrying. In Mexico, to get a gun, you have to go. There's one gun store in the country. You have to have a reason to have a gun to buy a gun legally. You have to have a reason to buy a gun. And I think maybe some prior training, like police or something. And it's not a military base. You have to go onto a military base to buy a gun. The other way to buy a gun in Mexico is to get one that comes into the country illegally from the US. Those are two ways to get a gun in Mexico. To buy one that was brought in illegally, or the legal way to do it is to go onto the one gun store on a military base. You can buy a gun at Walmart. The first time I saw a gun in a gun section in a Walmart store in the US, I was like, what's that? Oh my God. I can buy guns next to where I buy the paint. And people are always like, Black people need to arm themselves. You can be the first person to die when the cops, even if it's a legal gun, they're going to shoot you because you have a gun. Like, I get what you're saying, right? But we know in America, what should happen and what does happen aren't the same. You can be legally allowed to carry a gun and still get shot dead because of it, because nobody cares because you're Black. Blissful says knives are also very dangerous. I know Europe, particularly the UK, has a lot of stabbings. People aren't like stabbing up hundreds of people at a time. And that's like, yes, there may be mass stabbings. Knives are dangerous. Knives are everywhere. The guns that are available to the public in the US are weapons of mass destruction, right? We're not talking about like, oh, is it safe if this guy has a handgun, but this guy has a knife? Which one is safer? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who have like guns that can shoot hundreds of bullets in a minute. That's what's happening in the US. And that's why I personally don't feel safe there a lot of the time. Because what? What is this? I feel safer. The minute I cross the borders outside of the US, I feel safer because what is happening? That dropping guns, boop, boop, significantly safer. Celeste says she has her CCW and she's scared to carry in public because our children are killed for carrying toy guns. You with a real gun? Black people are shot for reaching for phones. Mm-mm. Anywho, this is not where I wanted this thing to go or end, but I'm feeling feels right now. I don't like living in a place where other people have easy access to weapons of war, as Traveling Diaspora just pointed out, weapons of war, and they are riled up by people to use them, right? It's not just that these weapons are available, it's that we don't live in a peaceful country to begin with. It's that people are urging other people to go be the fall guy and go, those people need to be eliminated. These people, you know what I mean? Like it's not, people are swarming government buildings trying to murder politicians. What is this place? What is this? I know crime can happen anywhere. I do not feel safe in America. Bullets on sale? Let's Amethyst Dawn, I'm gonna touch on your point. America is not a country that takes care of their mentally ill enough for us to have the access to weapons we do. It just doesn't. And I'm not saying that everybody who commits a mass murder is mentally ill. I'm saying that the potential for someone who is not mentally stable, I'm sure I'm using some words incorrectly. I'm so sorry, y'all. Apologies in advance if anything I say is offensive. But the potential for someone who is not in their right state, in a good frame of mind, to easily get a weapon and use a weapon and then be like, did I do that? Is too high in America. We do not take care of our people enough for weapons to be so easily available. We live in a country where we give power and privilege to people who seek power and privilege for the wrong reasons all the time. All the time. Half the police in this country should not have guns, should not have access to guns. If you're committing domestic violence, you should not have access to guns. And yet, And yet, it is not. Crime can happen anywhere. American society, as it is right now, encourages crime. It encourages crime. It encourages the divisions between people that create crime. It encourages people to see others as less, as people who don't deserve to live. And then it sells people who, one way or another, have heard that this group of people don't deserve to live. It sells them guns that can kill hundreds of people in seconds. And I just don't know why we keep having presidents who are like, oh, isn't that a shame? I hate it when that happens. Did all the people die? Ooh. We have all this government we're paying all these taxes to, all this government. And everyone's just like, thoughts and prayers, dog, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Lisa just said it, thoughts and prayers. It's a shame. And then these same people who are in charge of creating the laws in our country are sending out their Christmas cards with them and their kids posing with these big ass guns. I just, okay. So I need to end this because I can feel it in my heart right now. I really, honestly, like I feel this in my heart, and I need to go sit down on the couch because Khaleesi don't want me wound up like this when I show up for her live. We're going live at 3:30 Eastern time today on Khaleesi's channel. Khaleesi is our Black Utopia. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. If you're not already subscribed to Khaleesi, go subscribe right now. Stephanie's gonna be there too. Maybe she'll tell you all about Beyonce. I'm sure she has it on her story. I'm sure right now, Stephanie. Can I look at Stephanie's story about? Let me wait till I'm not live anymore to look at Stephanie's story. I saw Beyonce twice, and Megan never came. We never had any guests. There were no guests in the two shows I saw. All the rest of y'all had guests. I ain't get no guests. I have feelings about this. I'm gonna write a letter to Beyonce. Dear Beyonce. All right. If you desire a better life, an easier life, I've talked about ways that life is better. Some of the things are ways in which life is easier. Come to Exodus Summit. Come hang out with us. We are going to show you how to get more time now, how to get more joy now, how to get more location independence now, more financial freedom now, even if you're not ready to move abroad now. Come, get your ticket. I'm trying to breathe through it. I'm about to do some alternate nostril breathing. That's really helpful. If you ever need to like calm down, alternate nostril breathing is really, really helpful. But I need to do it like 10 of those, and I don't want y'all to watch me do that or hear me do that because I'm a little congested right now. Eve, this is the Mexico away jersey for the country, the men's jersey. This is a men's fit jersey. The men's fit are I went to the Adidas store to look at jerseys. The men's and women's were the same pattern. The women's, so who it's for, not what team, because it's the men and women have the same. The men's team and the women's team wore the same thing. We totally switched gears, but here we are. It'll do me some good to switch gears. The men's fit is I can't remember what they call it, but it's like it's a close fit. I can't remember, what do they call it? I can't remember. The women's fit is a relaxed fit and the men's fit is a tight fit. And I was like, it's an interesting choice. So the size differences aren't too big. I'm wearing this is a men's small right now. I tried on a men's extra small. I took it immediately off my body. I am not a men's, not in this jersey. I am not. I was trying it on to see if it would fit my knees. And yeah, it's a slim fit, but they use a different word for it. But yeah, the men's is like you can't see it. It's some kind of like close slim fit. The women's is a relaxed fit. So they look exactly the same. I think it's the same jersey. They just put S and, F and M on the tag. Or H and M. All right. You know what I want from Adidas? Them Adidas outfits Beyonce was wearing on the tour. When I saw her in Vancouver, she had on this like sheer blue pattern. You were there too, Aspen. You know what I'm talking about. It was a sheer blue jacket. Adidas, if you sell the stuff Beyonce wore on tour, mass market, in there, dog. You're in there. That's what I want. That sheer jacket to wear to go to Pilates in the grocery store, because those are the only places I go. Yes, please. All right. Dawn is ready for the summit. I am ready for a summit. I cannot wait to see you guys there. Very excited to sit there with you. And, we're going to do this together, because together is the only way it happens. And I'm going to breathe through my pain in this current moment, because America, there are things about America that are good, and there are things in America that are hot trash. And it's like, I need us to be a little less hot trashy, a little less. Transportation is hot trash. The safety mechanisms in place in America, hot trash. Steaming, it stinks. It stinks and everybody knows it. The blue outfit Beyonce was wearing in Vancouver, that blue Adidas outfit, honey, put it on sale. I want it. All right, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't get this worked up every week. I just got a little worked up this week. Come to Halisi's channel, Halisi and Rick, this afternoon. Our Black Utopia, 3:30 Eastern time. I'm going to go eat some food. Yes, it's an old Ivy Park line. I have never seen it. The see-through blue floral coat, see-through, sheer. I never saw that on sale. I'm salty. Any hoodle. I love y'all. I will see you guys next Sunday. If you like coming to co-working, I co-work almost every Tuesday and Thursday. We're co-working twice this week over on my other channel, Rashida Dough, Dough. It will be 9 a.m. Eastern time, Tuesday and Thursday of this week. Come through. We're going to be there. 9 to whenever. We get it done. Usually to like noon Eastern time or a little later. We'll get it done. So I will see you guys there. If you're joining us, Rashida Dough, Roshida Dough. I think I spelled that right. We get some work together. And then I'll see you guys next week. I'll have a guest speaker next week. It's going to be exciting. I love an interview. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.